welcome to our November 2025 Public School Board meeting. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And Lisa, may I have a roll call, please?
Yes. Christine Agron. Here. Mandy Colville. Here. Jessica Decker.
Here.
Brian Fells.
Here.
Jack Fisher.
Here.
Pam Lutfi.
Here.
Felicia Sheehan.
Here.
Rosemary Walsh.
Here.
Carl Well.
Here.
Thank you. The Delaware Valley School District, in partnership with our community, stands committed to maximizing student potential, fostering lifelong learning, and promoting responsible citizenship. For those of you who may be watching by YouTube, if you have any comments, please direct them to schoolboard@dvsd.org, and they will be addressed at a later date. Just remind everyone to silence your cell phones. And we have no presentations this evening. Oh, we have one? Oh, okay, we do, yes, okay. And so we'll move to that.
So last week, we had some questions about the America 250 project, which involves a bell that was painted by Delaware Valley. So we asked our art department chair, Trish Kaler, to come and introduce some students and tell you all a little bit about it.
Nice.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm Trish Taylor, and I brought one of my really talented students, Ruby Baylor, with me to tell you a little bit about the America 250 project and the bell. Ruby's a member of she's a student in my AP Studio Art class, and she's a member of the National Art Honor Society. And she's going to take it from here. Feel free to ask us any questions when she's done.
So the bells were to celebrate the 250th anniversary of the United States. And there was one bell for each of the counties in Pennsylvania, and the students who were going to be in the AP classes last year in the spring, submitted sketches to Ms. Kaler, and she unified them into one and then sent it to Harrisburg to be approved. And we got approved for the sketch and got sent the bell over the summer, and we painted it.
And Ruby's just one of the students here, but she really took a leadership role in painting the bell, and we can't wait for you to see it. It has to stay off camera because it's over in the art room, but the school board does get a sneak peek at it. It will be unveiled on December 6th at the tree lighting ceremony in Milford. So at 3 o'clock is the unveiling ceremony where the whole community can get to see it.
Nice. Well, I look forward to seeing it.
Yes.
Where will it be displayed?
Okay. It's displayed at the Milford Community, the Milford Welcome Center.
Oh, okay.
Right next to the
Outside?
lake. Outside,
Okay.
yeah, so it'll be permanently displayed outside.
Okay.
So is the drawing a kind of a merging of all the students' input, or did one student in particular's drawing get chosen to be painted on the bell?
They were all kind of combined. There was elements of each person's to make one unified plan.
Great. So the criteria for the bell was to highlight something about our county. So the students brainstormed, and they thought that it would be a good idea to highlight Pike County's natural beauty. So it has to do with the natural beauty and the tourism in Pike County.
Very nice.
Ruby, are you going to college for art? I'm going to minor in fine arts, most likely. Congratulations.
Can't wait to see it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And Dr. Blom, although it's not a presentation, I believe we have some high school journalism ambassadors that are here this evening. If they could, one of them or their advisor could just fill us in as to what the ambassador role is.
Should one of me?
There we are.
I'm Lenore Rogan. I am a community engagement coordinator with the River Reporter, and I'm here with these students tonight who are participating in this meeting as youth news ambassadors. which is a program that gets people out into the community, young people as well as adults, if any of you are dying to go to municipal meetings. And as listeners, as record takers, and the idea is that we're gonna broaden the scope of what the River Reporter can cover with its limited staff and get people engaged in their communities, listening to what's happening and reporting back so that we can then post that stuff as is to the website. Eventually, we're still building the structure for it, and make it accessible to the community.
Great, thank you.
Good? Thank you for telling me.
Kids don't want to stand up, huh?
We look forward to hearing from you. No other presentations? At this time, we may take comments that are related to tonight's agenda, and state your name, your municipality, and you have 3 minutes to address the board. Nobody? All right. Moving on, may I have a motion to approve the minutes from the regular board meeting held on October 16th, 2025?
Did we adopt the agenda?
You know what? I apologize here.
That's okay.
Getting a little ahead of myself. All right. Are we gonna adjourn first?
Okay.
Okay, so I apologize. We are going to adjourn for a brief executive session and then we will return. Everyone for your patience. We are returning from executive session where we just had a discussion pertaining to personnel and land. Moving on, may I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
Second.
All those in favor, any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed?
I'd
Hearing-
like to,
Okay.
Oh, well, we'll
I
finish
need to
it.
abstain. I'm sorry, I need to abstain from the minute. Oh, no.
No, just
wrong
agenda.
vote. Sorry.
We'll finish adopting the agenda, then you can make your.
oh, I thought we
motion.
did, sorry.
Yep, so all those in favor of adopting the agenda
All
say
those in
aye.
favor say aye.
Aye.
Correct. Motion carries. Now, if there's any other motions,
I'd like to make a motion to approve the two motions that are in your packet again tonight. Thank you for putting them back in the packet, Lisa. Under approvals.
Jack, your motion is to amend the agenda to add them under approvals, right?
Thank you, sir, yes.
Okay, is there any seconds for those, for that motion?
I'll second it.
Okay, any discussion on that item?
I'll discuss my support and second it if you're not gonna speak, Jack.
Well, you all know my opinion, for the record, these are my motions from, I believe they were from March. So it's been 6 months since I brought them forward.
Yeah, I think it's important that we decide to take some action on this, as we see the federal government seems to be taking action on school districts, including, I think, some here in Pennsylvania, who they feel may be in violation. I think it's important that we start following what the Fed is implementing nationwide. I'm unaware, I don't know if we ever heard back from our inquiry to the federal government or not. I know I missed a couple meetings, if I might have missed that discussion, I don't know if that got brought up to that letter that we sent. But I think it's time that we take some action and really pass Jack's resolutions to get in line with what the federal government wants us to do here with education.
Carl, can I just address that? Brian Fells had provided an email address that we talked about at a prior meeting through the OCR directly.
Okay.
I did reach out to them. I got a response at the time that the federal government was shut down, so they did not respond. However, when the government reopened, I did receive a follow-up email saying they were forwarding it to the appropriate office. That was it was probably 2 days after the shutdown ended, and haven't heard anything back from that email that I sent on the board's behalf.
And that's that's the original email that Nick drafted, I'm assuming.
No, those were letters sent to
Letters,
direct
yeah.
individuals. Yes, this was a request from the board to email the OCR directly our situation and what steps the district had in order to move forward.
And we haven't heard from the direct letters.
We have not received
okay.
responses, no. So that's why we moved towards the OCR directly, to try to get a response.
Okay.
Is there any more discussion on the item of amending the agenda? Okay, then Lisa, if we could have a roll call vote for this issue, I think that'd be appropriate.
Well, sorry. Okay, so this is a roll
Well,
call
and- yeah,
vote
and
to
I-
amend
before we-
the agenda.
And I
to-
should clarify, before it goes on, if it is to make it on the agenda, it's, because it wasn't advertised 24 hours before, it would have to be carried to the next voting meeting agenda in order to take board action on it that would be valid. If you take action on something that wasn't properly advertised, your actions are essentially invalid. So if it is amended to be added to the agenda, the premise behind it would be it's added to the December agenda so that any action you take on it would be valid.
And this is why I asked at the work session that it be put on the agenda, so we wouldn't have to wait, but every time we do this, it takes another month.
I understand. But I just wanted to be clear though, so that when you're voting, you have all of that information when you're making your vote time.
Are we ready? Christine Agron?
No.
Mandy Colville?
No.
Jessica Decker?
No.
Brian Fells?
Yes.
Jack Fisher?
Yes.
Pam Lutfi?
No.
Felicia Sheehan?
No.
Rosemary Walsh?
No.
Carl Will.
Yes.
So that is 3 yeses, 6 noes, motion failed.
Now we'd be looking for a motion to approve the minutes from our last meeting.
Okay, so may I have a motion to approve the minutes from the regular board meeting held on October 16th, 2025? Motion.
Second.
Any discussion?
This is the one that you abstained from, right, Carl?
Yeah.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Abstain.
Okay, 1 abstention. Hearing no objections, the motion carries. We'll now move on to administrative and attendance reports. Financial reports. You wanna go? Any questions, any comments? On the administrative attendance reports, any comments? Any comments on the financial reports? If not, we'll move on to the superintendent's report.
Thank you. We already addressed the Youth News Ambassadors Program, so thank you for speaking on that behalf. DDMS did their presentation of Cinderella last week, Friday and Saturday. By all accounts, it was an extremely positive production. Our fall season officially ended last Friday night in a state playoff football game to Hollidaysburg. Good football game. We just came out on the short end of the stick for that. And just to throw a plug in, that DVMS's production of Shrek Jr. is this upcoming weekend, if anyone's interested. Boys and girls wrestling are doing a black and white night tomorrow, which a black and white night is essentially where junior high and varsity boys and girls will wrestle off with each other in order to kind of claim their lineup spot. So if you have multiple kids at a weight, they'll wrestle with each other to determine who would be the ones that were in the lineup. It's a fairly vibrant event, good atmosphere in the gym. It starts at 6 if anyone was interested in attending that. I wanted to update the board on the water situation on the main campus. It's been completely solved. This week we were able to get the equipment needed. It was a one-day procedure, finding the problem, fixing the problem, moving forward, so all the water is back to normal on the main campus. So we're grateful for that. And then last but not least, there is an item in your handouts that the business office put together, if I could draw your attention to it. What it basically has is also, which we mentioned last week, more definitive information regarding the impact of the past budget from the state and how those monies impact our budget from last year, from the monies that we were owed from the state. So that Bill is going to just kind of walk you through why he put the things in here where he did to make it more understandable.
Okay, so if you look at the major categories that the legislators seem to wrangle over when it comes to the school districts, starting at the top are basic instructional subsidy. What I did is put the actual from last year and then the final state budget next to it. So we had about a $165,000 increase there, which is just less than a 1% increase. And then going across, when we based upon typically the Governor Shapiro's proposed budget, when we passed our budget, you can see where we had put our number in our projection, and we ended up with 37,000 more in that line item. The next line item, we were spot on with the Ready to Learn Foundation amount. They have another category called Ready to Learn Adequacy. Last year we got 0, this year we got 50,000. So we'll be getting information on where we are able to utilize those funds that's forthcoming from PDE. Cyber school reimbursement, we received $189,000 last year. On the revenue side, there was 0 monies in that category. We had pretty much cut ours in half at budget time, put 100,000 in. We're not going to get that 100,000. But if you drop down to the expenses portion, what they did do is change the formula funding for how much we have to pay cyber schools. And ironically, I don't know if it's worked that way for all schools. And I put a note there that we're still waiting for information from the official information from the Department of Education. But from our analysis, the money that we didn't get is a reduction in expenses on the expense side, almost exactly the same amount of money. So you're not going to get it on the revenue side, but the expenses should be reduced when it gets finalized. A footnote to that is our expenses for cyber schools compared to what we budgeted is probably going to utilize, and we'll need that amount of money to pay those costs. So that's going to be like an offset there. Going back up to the top, you got vocational education. We got a $6,800 increase. What we had budgeted, we were a little high based on the governor's proposal. It ended up being $18,000 short of what we budgeted. And finally, special ed funding, it ended up being an $18,000 reduction. And for what we had budgeted, it's a $17,000 reduction. So anyway, the sum of that on the revenue side is about $49,000 less than what we put in our DV budget. And I put a note there that when the final assessed values came in, I'm projecting that 49,000 will be absorbed by the fact that our assessed value will come in higher than we had projected. So you always hope the average of everything happens. So I believe with the state budget and with the cyber money, we're gonna need, the reduction of the cyber expenses, we're gonna need to pay for the actual cyber expenses, in my opinion. And the shortness of 49,000 in revenues, we should have covered by real estate taxes. So that's the summary. And down below, I thought it was worth noting that if the legislators had passed the governor's budget with paying cybers at 80,000 or 8,000 flat, that was projected to be a reduction of costs of 766,000. But the final budget ended up being 190,000 as a reduction. So I think Felicia said it last week, at least it's something, it's a step in the right direction. But it wasn't what the governor had proposed, but at least it's something to offset the high cost of the cybers. Any questions? And money did start flowing in. Their money that we hadn't received for all these months, Department of Education moved pretty quickly, and the majority of those funds we received this week. So that's good news.
Great news.
Any questions?
Does the motion that we made, maybe the last meeting, the one before, where the money now gets transferred, does that automatically trigger in, or we have to do another motion to get that to happen?
No, I think the motion stood on its own. And what did not come with this was like paying us for the interest earnings that we had lost.
Right.
So the discussion that night was we were gonna hold off on that till probably May to try and offset what we that we lost in interest earnings because we had not been getting the state revenues.
So we're holding off until May.
Yeah, and again, we ran it by our auditor, and he felt that as long as the transfer was made by the end of the fiscal year, and I certainly want to get it on the books May, June at the latest, instead of payable.
Because it's in the AFR already.
It's already in the AFR as that has occurred. Any other questions?
Thank you for putting this together, Bill.
Thank you.
Thank you, both of you. Moving on, may I have a motion to accept the treasurer's report?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing no objections, the motion carries. May I have a motion to accept the bills for payment, which include the general fund, cafeteria fund, and the capital reserve fund?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No objections, the motion carries.
Before we get to 9A entirely, based on discussions that we've had in executive, I believe we're looking for a motion to table item 9AC, a resignation of an employee identified by the employee code ending in 01038. Do we have a motion for that item?
Motion.
Second.
And for clarity, it'd be getting tabled to the next voting meeting, which would be December 18th. If that meeting is canceled for whatever reason, inclement weather, it would just be the next voting meeting that we have. Is there any further discussion on the issue? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries.
All right, may I have a motion to approve the remaining personnel items, including resignations, appointments, change of status, change of salary, and change of effective date?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing no objections, the motion carries. May I have a motion for the approval of item 10A, additional volunteers?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing no objections, the motion carries. May I have a motion for the approval of item 10B, which is recommendation for tenure for Melissa Dansel?
So moved.
Second. Any discussion?
Congratulations.
Yep. I wish her well. A lot of work goes into it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing no objections, the motion carries. May I have a motion for the approval of item 10C, the Delaware Valley School District Chapter 339 K through 12 School Counseling Plan?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
I believe we did go in and make the changes that were recommended last week, so thank you for identifying those.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing no objections, the motion carries. May I have a motion for the approval of item 10D, board policies?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
I just wanted to make two notes that were brought up last weekend. 209.2 diabetes management. There was a question about the requirements of the policy, staffing notification. I spoke to Dr. Bixby this afternoon. That is in place and in motion and will be taken care of.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for bringing it to our attention. Also, there was a question of the two policies that had changes that came right before the work session that we said we would like to look over.
Oh, right.
So what we essentially have here is that 122.2 used to be 122.1, and all they did was basically change that from co-curricular to extracurricular activities, so we're comfortable passing that tonight. The other policy that was recommended was now going to be 122.1. That is a co-curricular policy that we are going to review now in December with January as a date for that, because that is a new policy. So we have one that changed its number and name, and that is our old policy with a new name, and then a new policy that will give you guys time to look through and decide if you're in favor of it through the regular review process.
Thank you.
So there was a motion, there was a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries.
Thank you, Nick. So our announcements are that on December 4th, 2025, we will have an organizational meeting at the district office at 6 o'clock where you will choose your officers. And December 18th, 2025, we'll have a regular board meeting at 6 o'clock also at the district office. At this time, we will accept comments on any school business. State your name and your municipality for the record, and you will have one opportunity to address the board for 2 minutes.
On any item concerning school business. Name and municipality, sir?
Sure, my name is William Mercolano, and municipality is Pike County.
Okay. Do you have like the specific township that you live in?
Oh, Delaware.
Okay, thank you.
So I'm actually here today to address concerns around the special needs program and the lack of staffing that has caused lapses in the academic education required by law for the students' IEPs. Furthermore, there's been some safety issues as well in the event of emergencies. I think it's important to point out that my wife and I, Jenna, we're generally not really prone to alarmist behavior or complaining, and overall our experience at Dvsd has been positive for our children. We actually have 4 of them in the district now. Initially, we attributed some of our experiences for John, our disabled child, informing us that he wasn't permitted to attend class today to perhaps mood swings or stress or something else going on. And however, as I said, we've engaged with conversations with several other parents who are all present here today. And we're presenting a joint statement here as I actually leave off and continue. But we came to the realization that all of us are experiencing similar issues. This suggests problem is more systematic in nature and it affects the entire district. To provide just some concrete examples, staffing for the special needs children in Shoal Elementary currently consists of 4 full-time and 3 part-time staff members within this class. There are 7 wheelchair-bound children in addition to 2 mobile children who require guidance. If fire were to occur, staff would have to choose which children they could evacuate. Beyond safety concerns, children are not being included in the general education population, again due to staffing shortages, because they cannot be taken directly to the classroom. The situation is causing the loss of their right to an education and socialization, and many of the students are prone to seizures and require assistance to feed them. How can this be accomplished with such little staff? Under Act 84, which adds Section 1414.11 to the Public School Code, all staff required that are in direct contact with the child with seizures need to be trained. This has not been the case. And really, the DV slogan is a DV, one DV. So it is disheartening to feel that staffing and our children's education are not included in that. I'd like to point out, like, our children's class is not adequately staffed to meet the legal requirements of their IEPs and to provide safety to children in events of an emergency. This has been occurring for over a month. We have spoken to Cheryl Nielsen, Director of Special Education, as well as Nate, the principal at
Sorry, sir, I don't mean to cut you off, but that is your 2 minutes. Hi, ma'am,
Thank
if you can just state your name as well as municipality.
Jenna Galano?
And are you from Delaware Township as well?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
To pick up where my husband left off, Cheryl Nelson has been working in the classroom for the last 3 weeks. She is aware of these issues firsthand, yet no changes have been made. Like my husband said, we have met with Cheryl and Nate, the principal. We have come together with this issue, all of us here, to be addressed by the board. This was brought to Superintendent Blum today. He denied us a meeting. The blame has been placed on a woman who is not out. She's on a leave from work, and yet Cheryl, who is actively working in the class under short staffing, has not raised concerns, or this has not been considered to advocate for these children and staff members. We have received all this information from my 6-year-old first grader. We have the privilege to have John advocate and be a voice for himself and his classmates due to his physical disability, but he is cognitively able to. The other children in the class do not have the ability to come home and talk to their parents about their day. We rely on the staff to inform us. Due to the major staffing issue, this is not possible. As a whole, our class parents have come together and realized that this is a much larger issue. After doing research, IAs do not get paid a livable salary, and this district-wide staffing is an issue. IAs are being pulled in different directions. This is not the fault of the staff. They are doing their very best most of the time. This is to point out and look at the administrators. This is you. The schools need properly trained IAs and adequate pay. Shahola specifically in the MDS room needs full-time IAs. If you reference the district page, parents have posted asking about IEPs and 504s, the follow-through and concerns. We have received so much feedback that IEPs are not being fully met across the district. To echo our previous statements, this seems to be a district-wide issue. Our children are in a district for 12 years. I am sure.
It's 2 minutes as well.
There you go.
Where are you?
I'm sure.
Can you state your name and municipality, sir?
Martin McDonough, Milford.
Thank you.
I'm sure more special needs children will be attending. Significant staff is needed. Shahola's MDS room is a top priority, but it is not the only concern given all the feedback we have received. I believe this is a district-wide issue. Have you asked your staff and current IAs, have you offered an anonymous complaint box so people feel comfortable to speak up without having fear of retaliation from administration? In closing, we've been following the chain of escalation recommended by our legal counsel and have had a meeting with Nate, the principal of Shahola, and Cheryl Nielsen, director of special education. They told us our next chain of command is Dr. Bloom. We requested a meeting with the superintendent and have been denied. We are doing everything in our power to avoid legal involvement and solve this issue as a community. But this district is leaving us little recourse. Something needs to be done, and this is not the DV some of us once had, or moved here for, or heard amazing experiences about. It is the school district failing our special needs children.
Thank you, sir. Is there any other public comment tonight? Hi, ma'am, can you state your name and municipality?
Sure, my name is Megan Wright and I'm from Delaware Township.
Okay, thank you.
I just wanted to announce that like a few weeks ago, my son who has special needs, he's one of the one in the classroom who is also nonverbal. He was physically hit by a staff member at the school. This is something that no parent should ever have to say out loud, yet it happened and it happened to me. It has shaken my trust with this district's ability to keep the students safe. What concerns me just as much as the incident itself is the lack of communication, the overall sense that parents are left in the dark until we push for answers. We have spoken directly to the building principal along with the supervisor of special education, Cheryl Nelson, but our concerns remain unresolved. Despite those conversations, and there have been no clear explanation of how safety will be improved or how future incidents will be prevented. I want to be absolutely clear when I say that proper staffing and adequate supervision are not optional. They are the foundation of student safety. It is very clear that the MDS room is very understaffed when support positions are empty or when substitutes are not adequately trained. Mistakes happen, and this is when our children are going to get hurt. How can the district guarantee safety when the staffs are stretched so thin beyond their limits? Staff are overwhelmed, students are not supervised appropriately, and preventable incidents are occurring. I'm also extremely concerned about the inappropriate groupings of the students while in with those with higher needs in the MDS classroom. Placing students together without considering behavior profiles or support requirements put both the staff and the children at risk. These decisions directly impact the safety, learning, and emotional well-being of every single person in that classroom. I'm asking the board to take the following considerations seriously. Ensure that the MDS classroom is properly staffed at all times. Review and improve communication protocols so that parents are notified immediately. Review how students are grouped and placed with safety being their top priority. And also provide clear accountability for how situations like my son being hit will be prevented in the future.
That's your 2 minutes, ma'am. Thank you. I'm sorry.
There's more if you want to. Do you want to finish?
You want to finish it?
Yeah, I guess.
There's only a little in it, so. It was just like my thing.
Okay. Hi, sir. Can you state your name?
Christian manager, Shahola.
Okay, thank you.
My child and all children in this district deserve to be safe, supported, and treated with dignity every single day. I'm here tonight not only for my son, but for every student whose needs are being overlooked because of understaffing, poor communication, and administrative gaps. No parent should have to question whether their child is safe when they put them on the bus each morning. Thank you. What did you want me to ask?
It's a question.
Okay.
Whatever.
Thank you, sir.
Finalist, I noticed, Dr. Blum, you haven't actually looked at any of us. Do you intend to look us in the eyes when we're speaking and asking you to address our concerns with safety?
There's no requirement that we respond at this time. Thank you.
I know. I just wanted to point that out.
That is actually a question I have. Isn't it the board's job to keep accountability for the superintendent as listed on the website, that he is communicative and easy and approachable and will be helpful to parents?
This isn't a Q&A.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to know the district rules.
You had your 2 minutes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you. Is there any other public comment?
I would like to. I am
Can you state your name and
Christina Meininger. I'm from Shahola.
Thank you, ma'am.
I would like to start out. I did not prepare like they did. I have nothing. My son is nonverbal. He has trouble eating by himself. I cry when I'm stressed. Ignore it, please. Cannot sit, cannot stand, cannot communicate. He can move his eyes, completely nonverbal. I trust you guys. It is my biggest fear what's going on, and I rely on trust. This is my son. He can no longer stand because he's not having the work. There's no staff to help him. He's losing muscle tone in his core. He can't sit very well anymore. He's having feeding issues because there's not as much time to work with him. So it's okay, he needs his bottle, he needs that nutrition. Or let's G2 feed him because he just needs it. And I also want to point out, others have seen other children having to push our children's wheelchair. And now I know in retirement homes, other residents aren't even allowed to touch other people's wheelchairs. So I want to know why a child that's also in a special needs room or a kindergartner, because that's all that's over there, is pushing my child. First off, his wheelchair alone is $17,000, and another child is in charge of it because there's no other staff. I've been told by other kids in the building that they see staff push one wheelchair and they have to pull the other behind them. So that kid is facing backwards. How awful is that? And this is what's being done to our children. And yet we were denied a meeting with Dr. Blum after we were directly told he is our next step. We were told no. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there any other public comment tonight? Okay.
Thank you. Are there any closing comments from the board?
I have a number of comments. Thank you for your input tonight. The board takes what you're saying very seriously. As you noticed, tonight we were able to firm up some of our numbers in terms of special ed from the state. we did not get any additional funds. So I'd like to ask Mr. Hessling if he can work up a cost of what it would take to have full-time IAs, district-wide, not part-timers. I'd like to know what that would cost in terms of salaries, what that would cost in terms of benefits, and what that number would be if you break it down just into a tax increase, if you don't mind, Bill. And if I could have that by December 18th, we can continue this conversation. But certainly what you're asking for needs to be analyzed. And I'm an analytical guy. I do this for a living. So if we could get that, Bill, I think that might help allay some of your fears that we're doing nothing. But that was the most striking thing that I heard in terms of dollars and cents. I'm disappointed to hear that you're contemplating legal counsel. You said that. Certainly that would be very expensive for you and very expensive for us. So I'm hoping you can have some type of conversation individually with Dr. Blum at some point. And I will say that Dr. Blum hears what you're saying as a group. There's no doubt in my mind he's very concerned with what's going on.
And tell him to sit down with us.
And
he said no.
I don't have the authority to tell him to do anything.
He said no.
It's board
He
comment.
didn't care.
It's board comment.
So
All right.
I'm just letting you know from this side of the table. I'm letting you know from this side of the table that he takes your concerns very seriously.
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't.
It's board comment, folks.
My time to talk.
Please just let Mr. Fisher.
I appreciate you ganging up on me. I'm on your side, believe it or not. DV has always had a superb special education department. The culture has always been amazing. People move into this district because of that. If we have an area that we can improve upon, I'm willing to listen and see what that has to be. So you are being heard, but like Nick said, this is not Q&A, so I can't answer all your questions. But Q&A would take place individually as you work your way up the chain of command. And I don't know who you've stopped at so far, but at some point you get to the person who's just below Dr. Blum, and then you get to Dr. Blum. So that's how I understand it works, and it's always worked that way. So if you could follow that chain of command by the next meeting, I think we can make some progress.
So can we inform our educators?
Board comments.
Can we give you our
so-
speech?
Board comment.
It's kind of hard to follow chain of command when the staff doesn't know chain of command because we were told by the head of the department that
That
Dr.
he's our
Blum was the
next
next step. And then today we're told, no, it's this other person.
Folks, the board has heard your concerns. You relayed them during public comment very appropriately, respectfully. We appreciate that. At this
Nick,
time,
respectively, when you're told no meeting,
I
and
understand.
you're telling us to do a meeting.
I understand.
No, you don't understand
I
that,
do.
Nick.
I do. And I'm, guys,
If there's a
please.
fire there tomorrow,
Folks.
our kids can't get out.
Folks, we've been respectful. We follow the rules. I'm just asking that we finish the meeting that way.
Okay, we already sent the
Okay,
letter, email
Folks, we're not
asking
gonna
for the
debate.
meeting.
If
We were
we're gonna
denied
keep
the
debating,
meeting.
the meeting will be over.
Pointless.
We denied the meeting.
We're not debating tonight, all right? We've done enough of that. That's not how this works. I understand. There's frustrations and concerns. Please keep working with the administration. That's what we're asking. I understand there's frustrations and concerns. Nobody is perfect. Nobody is perfect in their job, in their life.
If you're not even willing to listen, then you.
So my comments
please.
to the board during board discussion is that it's very obvious to me that we need improved communication. I have voiced that. I will continue to voice that. I have concerns. I have questions that are not answered. I have questions about the line of command that I think do need to be clarified, even for me to understand better. So I do understand where some of these comments are coming from and the frustration, but if we sit here and argue, we're not gonna make much progress. But I assure you, there is a system, and that system will be followed, I believe, by most of us. And, you know, we don't do committees. We have liaisons, and basically most board members really haven't been interested in their liaison assignments, but I think the time has come where we perhaps reinstate a committee, special education committee, and I hope tonight some people tell me that they may be interested, If not, we'll have a committee of one and I will serve on that committee. I think there needs to be a filter. I believe the communication now deserves to be with the administration. That will get worked out as far as who you will speak with next. The communication needs to exist between staff, administration, and anyone else that is deemed important to be in that conversation. Once some questions are answered and a format is put into place, then you will come to the board. And then we will intervene where we need to. But right now we need to be fair to everyone because our goal is to help the students in that classroom and the students in the entire building who are part of the members of that community and our entire district. So somehow we have to find a way to get together and communicate. If we have a special education committee, it is not a type of committee where you would come in and sit and, have immediate input. We would receive information, digest it, and then the committee would bring that information to the board. From there, the board will decide what the next action is. I can't tell you if this board is interested in that. I hope you would let me know right now, but I do see a need. We haven't had a special education committee for a long time. The last time we had one, there was a great need, and it solved many problems. So I hope it would be a consideration. Those are my comments, and I appreciate you understand this is a board time where we need to talk among ourselves to reach some solutions.
Well, I've always been an advocate of the committee system, not the liaison system. And I would like to see the board institute a number of different committees, because committees have more, for lack of a better word, impact power than just a single liaison. So yes, I think if we had a number of committees, 3 or 4, we could tackle some really large issues, especially capital projects, budgetary concerns, as I mentioned tonight, and we could see smaller groups meeting in a different format than this, where there will be back and forth between the folks who show up for that. And this way we can answer questions in a respectful way that we can address, and then the board can bring it, the committee can then bring it back to the board with the power of a committee. So Pam, you want to be in charge of that committee?
I only have a short time left.
I was going to say you're the president, so you can.
Because we are going to reorganize, and I hope
we'll reorganize
the next officers
in 2 weeks. Hopefully, the new president will do exactly that and set up a number of committees so that we can answer questions to the public in a more forthright, easy way of discussion, as long as it remains respectful. We did have an issue a few years ago where we had a curriculum committee where the folks were not respectful, and it actually. You had to disband the committee because the folks came in with an agenda that was loud and boisterous. So I think, if we have to have a set of rules for the committee also, but it wouldn't be, it would actually be a Q&A with you folks and with a budgetary group and with a capital projects group. I know we had a transportation group once before. So hopefully we can set up a number of committees next month and each of us can decide which committees we want to be on.
Thank you, Jack. Appreciate your support.
As you noticed, we had a rather lengthy executive session before we started. And a large portion of that meeting was discussing this topic. And we gave the administration some suggestions, some questions, and they have to go back and get the answers to those questions now. And unfortunately, we're not in a position to be a back and forth kind of conversation. But please don't think that we don't understand your issues and understand your concerns for your own children. It's challenging to put all these numbers and everything together. You sit there and you say, well, they've got this or they've got that, and some people think they do have enough, some people say they don't have enough, but they're not always there, and it's just a really challenging thing to kind of put together. And when you have children who have special needs like yours do, it's hard. And believe me, we are hearing what you have to say. And administration is also hearing what you have to say. And we're just trying to put all the pieces together to make it work. So give us a little bit of time. This is, to my understanding, this is kind of a short, this hasn't been going on for years. This is something
It
I'm
is
sorry?
this year.
It's this year.
This year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, give us a little bit of time to try to put the pieces together, please.
Okay.
I do think that, especially in this particular case, I think that the best course of action as far as the board goes would be a special education committee and having a group of people that could sit down and whether it's roundtable discussions again or however, we end up organizing it. But we certainly all appreciate everyone coming out to the meeting tonight and telling us your concerns and giving us the opportunity to address them. So, thank you.
I agree. I'd be in favor of a committee too, Pam. So if it's a team of one, it could be a team of two. If nobody else wants to do it, I'd be happy to sit down with you and be on that committee.
Excellent, thank you. I appreciate it.
And I want to thank you all for coming. I know it's not easy for you to say things. I know it's not easy for you to even get a babysitter for you to be here because your children need such complex care. So the amount of you that came to band together to be a loud voice, you're heard. And I'll take your letter, Jenna, if you want to give that over.
And also at the end, there's letters from parents who couldn't attend. They're all glued together for you guys, and then her letter.
But I appreciate your advocacy.
Anybody else from the board? I'm sure you'll get in touch with me or, let me know. Aisha, anything? Okay, all right. So I guess at this point, I'll ask for an adjournment. You have a motion?
Second.
I'm sorry, can I just ask one thing? Do we have an estimate on how long this would take? Because I'm not gonna lie, I was scared to send him to school today. We had this meeting with Cheryl yesterday,
Ma'am, we're gonna adjourn the meeting, okay?
I wanna know roughly how long this would take.
And stay in touch with the administration at this time, okay? So there was a motion to adjourn.
My son could die in a fire tomorrow at the school if there was a fire. They have to pick which kids go out first.
There's a motion to adjourn, there was a second, all those in favor?